And we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining this Lunch and Learn session. Today, we will be talking about the New Jersey State Library, and we have Andrew Dauphinee here. He is the Instruction and Outreach Librarian at the NJ State Library, and he's going to walk us through the many resources and services available. Thank you, everyone. Please give a warm welcome to Andrew.
All right, well, thank you so much, Echo. I really appreciate you and the invitation from the Advocates for Children of New Jersey for allowing me to host this presentation about some of the things that might be available to you through the New Jersey State Library. And I'm sure some of you might not even have realized that there is a state library in New Jersey. So I'll be covering a lot of different things. And as Echo mentioned, I have provided them with a handout that they'll be able to give you and a follow-up email that'll include the links for some of the things that I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm going to start off. Here's just my contact information, and I'll have this again at the end of the presentation as well. So you can get in touch with me personally if you have any questions, or you can contact our reference department. That there we have tons of great staff that can help you kind of in anything that you are that you're interested in or have any questions that you want to reach out to us. So we have a fantastic group of people here to work with. So just to go a brief overview of what we're going to go over today, I'm going to talk about who we are as a state library and a little bit about our history, the resources and services that we provide to different patron groups, and as well as at the end then take your questions. So let's jump right in. So the New Jersey State Library is actually split between two entities. We have what we consider the main library, which is on State Street in Trenton, next to the Capitol building and the State House Annex. And we also have what's called our Talking Book and Braille Center. Um, so I'll give a little brief overview of each of them. The main library is made up of a few different departments. I'm part of what is called the State Library Information Center, or the research library part, and that is the largest department within the state library. This is where we provide reference services, circulation services, interlibrary loan. We also have a law library here that I'm going to be talking about a little bit. So a lot of the action takes place here within the State Library Information Center. We also have a library development bureau that works with public libraries throughout the state in different capacities. We also have a Department of Information Technology that not only oversees our technology here, but some of the statewide technology that we offer, such as broadband services and like telephone services and things like that. So a lot of public libraries utilize the technology that we have. We also have a communications, marketing, and outreach department here that does our social media and does our newsletters and things like that. And then we have our administration team, which consists of the state librarian and a few support staff under that as well. So for the Talking Book and Braille Center, this is part of the National Library for the Blind's program. So the National Library for the Blind provides funding to all the states to provide different materials to those who are print disabled. You don't have to be blind. You just have to have some type of disability that prevents you from utilizing a print book. So that can mean that you have eyesight issues. That can mean you have tactile issues where you can't hold a page for very long. That can be a variety. Might have some learning disabilities where you need other types of ways to consume information. And that's through what we call our Talking Book and Braille Center. And they have a few different departments in there. They're reader services, so people can call and say, I'm interested in XYZ. How can you help me? And they'll say, okay, well, you might be interested in these books. We can provide you, resources related to whatever you want. And a lot of this is done through players that get sent out. So there used to be cassettes that were sent out. And then individuals would be able to load those cassettes into a player and listen to it like an audiobook. That has now been changed where there are digital versions of those. So there's like flash drives that get sent out. And now we have recently received cloud-based digital readers where people can go into their accounts and upload and pick what they want from the cloud and just do it there. So there's no mailing back and forth of anything. Part of the Talking Book and Braille Center is also their adult and children and teen services. So each one of them has their own special librarian who curates lists and helps individuals who might be interested in those. As I mentioned, the assistive technology loan program. So any of those players that people need, they are lent at no charge as long as you qualify for that. So. Move on. So the State Library here, we actually trace our origin back to 1796, when the clerk of the House was assigned the responsibility for the legislature's collection of books. And we have the original documentation where there was a law that was enacted delegating the clerk of the House to do an inventory of the legislature's books and is responsible for preserving them and then adding to that collection. So however, some may argue that the official library began because we house all state documents in 1707 with the printing of the colony's first provincial law, which was an act for regulating the purchase of land from Indians. And you can see a copy um, of the title page there printed in Latin. In 1996, we became an affiliate of what is now Thomas Edison State University, and we serve as their library. So staff and students can utilize us for resources, for questions, and all of that. So we provide the same services that an academic library would apply at a traditional university. Thomas Edison State University is 100% online, except for their Bachelor's of Nursing program. So we deal with individuals all across not only the country, but the world too, because it does service a lot of military service members who might be stationed overseas as well. And then we now have over 2 million items within our 13 unique collections here. We have over about 200 online databases, and then we also have thousands of print and electronic journals that are part of what makes up the state library. So the Research Library, the State Library Information Center here, again, as I mentioned, is the largest department. We provide the reference and research services to state employees, members of Thomas Edison State University, and the general public. I mentioned state employees because as the state library, we are the library for state government. That is our function. So we are not essentially like a large public library, even though we are open to the public. We are a research or special library that caters more to the needs of state employees to fulfill their functions as they work in state government, as well as provide, again, research and resource services for Thomas Edison State University. We are also responsible for all patron accounts and interlibrary loan services. And we also have a dedicated law library that I'm going to talk about a little bit in detail. But one caveat that is we cannot give legal advice. So, and I'll explain a little bit more about that as we come up. So here are some of the collections we have at the state library. Some of these are available through interlibrary loans. So if you want to go through your local public library, you're able to request things from us. We have our general collection, our nonfiction, our fiction, but where we really shine is our New Jersey documents. So anything that's been produced by the state of New Jersey in a document form, we most likely have a copy of. So a lot of things get sent to us that are published by the state. Official records of the state, such as correspondences, speeches, things like that, we may have, but a lot of that then is at the state archives. So anything that is done in the official capacity of a department within its business of government is housed at the state archives, but a lot of things are published by different state agencies that then we collect. So there is a little bit of a distinction there. We have a large genealogy collection here that's made up of a few different types of records. We have a large city directory collection. We have a fantastic collection of both published and unpublished family histories that are searchable by last name in our catalog. So you can do a subject search for a last name, and it'll let you know if we have anything in our genealogy collection that contains that last name. We also have lots of indexes and other things that deal with documents, records collections, and things like that. We do not have vital records here, so your birth, marriage, and death records. Those are located either at the state archives or at the Department of Health's Bureau of Vital Statistics. We also have a Jerseyana collection, which I am in charge of, and that is everything that's kind of been produced about New Jersey. We tried to collect that is not a state document. So those can be town or county histories. Those can be industrial or business directories. Those can be works of fiction or nonfiction that have been produced where the setting is in New Jersey. There's dissertations and studies, municipal and regional government planning documents from local governments. There's again, histories that have been done on all sorts of topics about New Jersey. It's a really fantastic collection. We have over 20,000 items in that collection as well. So We also have a funding information center here that works directly with some nonprofits. So we have a print collection where if nonprofits or individuals want to check out books related to nonprofit management, grant writing, proposal writing, grant seeking, we have that available. But we also have a digital component of that, where we provide classes on introduction to finding grants and introduction to proposal writing. So we try to help the nonprofit community as we can. And we also provide on-site access to the premier private foundation database, the foundation directory online that you can use on site here, which is a great way for nonprofits to find potential funders. So that is one of the things we have here. We also have a U.S. documents collections. We are a participatory library in the Federal Depository Library Program, and we collect about 60% of what the federal government puts out. So there's another library, it's the Newark Public Library within the state that also is part of that program. So if you're looking for federal resources that you might not be able to find online, there's a good chance that we would be able to find it for you or have it within our collection. Again, we have a legal collection that deals with all of the laws, administrative code, revised statutes, the courts of New Jersey, different law books about laws or legal proceedings that have happened in New Jersey. That's part of our law library, which is great. We also have a civil service test book collection. So if anybody is within state government or is thinking of applying for state government, or even your county or town government, we have civil service test preparatory books, which is probably our most popular collection that we have. And those just provide help for taking the civil service exams. Then we also have a maps and atlases collection that goes back over 100 years in a variety of ways. Some we have Sanborn maps, which were done in the late 1880s through the 1920s. And those are very, very detailed maps of towns that go down to individual blocks, that you can even find out sometimes what a house was actually made of, what improvements were done on a property, what property was used for at that time. So we have a fantastic map and atlas collection here at the library. So those are a lot of our physical items, but we also have a digital collection, and it's growing every single day, and it's available on the web address on the screen there. But again, that's going to be available in a handout to you. And it's made up of three components right now. We have our New Jersey State Publications digital library. So again, that mimics our New Jersey documents. So a lot of things that we get, if we get it born digital, which means that they send it to us in a digital copy, we automatically upload it there. But we are also working through digitizing all of our print resources that are available. We also have a digital Jerseyiana collection, which is a smattering of things across our Jerseyiana collection that is going up there. I've been working really hard to boost that collection because it's been neglected for so long. But one of the highlights is we have a postcard collection that we've digitized, and it's arranged by town. So if you're looking to see postcards I should say historic postcards on a town, you can go on there and search. And we have over 100 towns in New Jersey that we have postcards for. And then we also have the New Jersey Superseded Administrative Code, which was a grant-funded project that we were able to complete a few years ago. So again, I just want to go a little bit into some of our more collections. For our genealogy, Regina Fitzpatrick is our genealogy librarian, and she is absolutely fantastic on what she does. I mentioned what we have in print, so our family histories, the city directories, and the indexes. But we also do about, I would say, maybe 10 to 12 genealogy webinars or programs each year that are free and open to the public. So you can check our events calendar and attend them. And they cover all aspects, not only of conducting genealogy research in New Jersey, but basic genealogy topics as well. DNA, trying to going through roadblocks in your research, how to construct, your own family histories and that. And then we also have databases on site here that are available. So we have the Ancestry Library Edition, we have Family Search, and we have Heritage Quest as well. So if you're looking to do genealogy research, you can come in here. We can get you set up on any of those databases. You can have a one-on-one sit down with Regina, and she can kind of guide you through on how to conduct your research. Again, or you can just email us and say, hey, I'm looking for the information about this person. Can you help me? Where should I turn? I'm having trouble, and we'll be happy to guide you through all of that. Again, so our genealogy collection. Some in this collection are available for interlibrary loan. Some are not. So anything that we only have a copy one of, that does not circulate. But if we have multiple copies of something, we will allow them to circulate, and you can request them through interlibrary loan through your local public library. So. And then our law library. So we have a dedicated staff of 5 librarians who are well versed in New Jersey law, and a couple of them were actually lawyers in their past life. So, and one of the great things about this is we are one of 2 libraries or law libraries in the state that are actually open to the public. So you can write to us, you can come on in if you want, and we can help you. So one of the things that they specialize in, again, is legal research. So New Jersey statutes, the administrative code, legislative histories for law. So what the intent was behind a law and any supporting documents for how a law was passed. They do case law research. So if you're looking for information on a specific type of law, they can say, okay, well, these might be laws that you might be interested in. Rules of the court, we get a lot of questions from individuals, one who are either representing themselves or are wondering, my lawyer is doing X, is that legal? Is it ethical? And so we can help provide you, give you resources for you to kind of make those determinations. We have annotated versions of statutes administrative code that can provide context and references to what's being done within a case or within a law. We have access to the premier legal databases of Hein Online, Lexis Plus, and Westlaw that you can use available on site at the library here. However, we cannot give legal advice. So what does that mean? Well, we cannot interpret a law for you and say, this is what the law says. Or we cannot say, well, if you're looking at this, these are some laws that you might want to check out. Anything like that is considered legal advice. So we can give you, say, well, here's a bunch of laws. You have to read them and make your own determinations, or you may have to consult with a lawyer, but we can do some of the legwork in terms of researching something for you. So, to help you with determining things that whether something is legal or not legal, something that's ethical is not legal or ethical, we can give you access to things like the New Jersey Practice, the New Jersey Rules of Evidence, the New Jersey Local Government Desk Book, and the New Jersey Legal Ethics. So we can point you in a lot of directions. We can set you up, but we can't say, yes, this is what you're looking for, because that constitutes legal advice, and we are not acting as lawyers in our capacity. So there is a caveat there. But don't let that deter you. Please contact us if you have any questions. And if we can't answer your question directly, there are legal groups out there that might be able to, like your county ombudsman's office, or other legal services within New Jersey that will be able to help you. So one of the things that is kind of unique about our New Jersey State Library, again, is we're a library for state government. We are not a general public library that covers everybody throughout the state. However, there are offerings we do make available to the public. For a little bit of context, the library system in New Jersey is very decentralized. So you have your local public libraries that have a lot of autonomy, and we do not provide any oversight for them in terms of how they are structured, how they have to be run. So that is all done. There are laws in New Jersey that govern how libraries need to be run, and they have to follow them. It does not come from us. So you may have a local town library. There are also county library systems that are available as well. So it is very decentralized here. But there are things that we do provide as a state library for members of the general public. So you can register for a New Jersey resident card with us. You have to come in person to the library to do that and bring a photo ID and proof of residency. And basically what that gets you is allow you to borrow one physical item from our collection, access to our public computers. However, we do make some things available to all of the public libraries throughout the state, as well as some of the and all residents within the state. And probably the most important one is a suite of databases called Jersey Clicks, which is available at jerseyclicks.org. And some of them you may have to use your local public library card to access, but it is free. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Something that we introduced a few years ago, I think 3 years ago now, is called the Palace Project. And this is a collection of about 20,000 ebooks that are available to all residents of New Jersey that we have staff members here that help curate that list. So you can go and just search Palace Project, or you can go to the web address on the screen there. That's going to be available as a live link in the handout. That's going to be distributed later. And all you have to do is register for a Palace Project barcode. Once you get that, you'll be able to get into the app and get into the website and see everything that we have curated for you. And again, that is free as long as you are a resident of New Jersey. We have over 30 research guides that our librarians have created on a host of different topics, and I'm going to show you some of them in a little bit that are available 24/7 that not only link to resources that we have and tips and tricks on different things, but it'll tell you if we don't have something, where you can find it. And so we link to government agencies, federal agencies, um, we link to other organizations and groups that provide services and resources in a variety of different topics. And then we also provide free webinars. We do about 50 a year on a lot of different topics. Those again range from genealogy to finances and money and retirement to gardening to New Jersey history. We have author talks. Um, we have informational programs. The Advocates for Children of New Jersey has done a program for us in the past on, kind of what you can expect in terms of accommodations in education. So before you get to the IEP and when you get to an IEP, what are all the things that you need to know? What are all the steps that you need to take? So we offer a wide variety of programming throughout the year. And so you can check out our events calendar and you can sign up for them. They're all done virtually through Zoom. Most of them are at the 12 to noon lunch hour, and a lot of them are also recorded and made available afterwards. And you can check out our YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/at NJ State Library, and you can see all of the programmings that we have offered already. So a little bit about our research guides. This is kind of what a research guide looks like. So there are some tabs at the top that will allow you to navigate to different pages. And then there's a lot of information that is in there. And some of our most popular and probably applicable research guides to you. We have one on finding a job, so careers and employment. So best practices for writing resumes, for conducting interviews, job boards that you can look at. This is our genealogy research guide, which is extremely popular. So if we're not around, or if you're not quite sure about something, Regina has done a fantastic job of breaking everything down about New Jersey genealogy into easily digestible bites. If you're looking for health or medical resources, we have a fantastic guide for that. Our law department, again, has a New Jersey legal resources guide. So if you're looking for anything related to that, I would highly recommend checking out that guide first, seeing what's available. And then if you have any questions or you can't find something, you can get in touch with us. And then we also have scholarships and grants. So if you're looking to enter into education, or your children might be entering into higher education and looking for where can I find scholarships or how do scholarships work, that information can be found there again. Or if you're looking to start a nonprofit, if you're part of a nonprofit and wondering how do I go about finding grants, writing grants, all of that information again is available in a research guide that's 24/7. You don't need to ask us for anything. So moving back to Jersey Clicks, I just want to go through some of the resources that are available. One of the most popular is Reference Solutions, provided by Data Axle. Some of you might be familiar with Reference USA. That was its previous iteration. And what's a great thing about Reference Solution is it's essentially a business directory. So you can go through there and you can find businesses of a certain type. Or if you're looking to get contact information for businesses, it's basically a white pages now. So it's fantastic for doing research if you're trying to maybe start a business and trying to figure out, where should I be located? What are my competitors? What am I looking at? There's a lot of different ways that you can pull information from there that can really help. It also acts as a yellow pages as well. I'm sorry. As a white pages for personal information. So there are some individuals that are listed there. It's not as comprehensive as the old white pages. But if you're trying to find the information for an individual, they do have them is there as well. They used to have a job board in there, but they have taken that down, unfortunately. So that's one of the drawbacks, but it is really a fantastic resource. You have access to consumer reports. So if you're looking again for ratings on different things, whether it's appliances, cars, we have access to the digital version of that. We have access to Health Source Consumer Edition. So if you're concerned about medical care or medical conditions that you may have, you can certainly check that out. And it'll provide information on hospitals and doctors and things like that if you're looking for that type of information. There's legal information source. Again, it's a legal database that can provide you with some guidance on trying to maybe represent yourself or what forms you might need to fill out if you're trying to, say, file for a divorce or petition for custody or something like that. So you can check that out. Again, if you want to start a small business, there's a small business source that provides information, guides, and resources for starting and operating a small business. And then there's also access to Heritage Quest, which is a genealogy database. So you can get census information in there and other digital records that have been uploaded to that as well. So Jersey Clicks is a really fantastic suite of databases that the New Jersey State Library pays for, but makes accessible to all public libraries and also school libraries throughout the state. And then, as I mentioned, we do have webinars. There's roughly about 50 that we do at a year. You do have to register for them. But all that information is available on our events calendar. And then, as I mentioned, we have a variety of different topics. Yesterday, we had a webinar on Resume Writing 101, which was really fantastic. And tomorrow, we're having a webinar on diabetes. So November is Diabetes Awareness Month. So we're having a webinar from Capital Health Medical Group that's going to be talking about the different types of diabetes and the treatments that are available for that. Um, and starting at the end of December and going through the entirety of 2026, we're going to be having what's called our NJ 250 speaker series. And this is going to be in honor of the 250th anniversary of New Jersey becoming a state. And we're doing some really great work and having some really great speakers talking about different aspects of New Jersey's history. So in December, we're going to kick it off with David Price's book, Winning the 10 Crucial Days, which is going to be talking about the battles of Trenton and Princeton. And that's going to be on December 29th. So right in that time period when those battles took place, 250 years ago. In February, we're going to be having a screening at the New Jersey State Museum Auditorium um, of the PBS documentary, The Price of Freedom, done by Ridgely Hutchinson, and it's going to be followed by a panel discussion with some of the contributors and historians who worked on that. So look out again for those throughout the year. There's a variety of topics that we're going to be covering from all sorts of New Jersey history. So. All right, so that was really the overview that I have for you about all of our services and resources. Again, please feel free to contact me directly or contact our reference department for any questions you may have. We deal with so many questions and we help people in a lot of different ways, whether it's, looking for newspaper articles of something to help doing genealogy research for help locating a specific law or policy or anything like that. So we really do wish that you contact us. We are here to help you in any way that we can. So.